Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Shantia here. So I'm gonna give a in today's video I am giving a review for the Married at First Sight, the reunion part 1. It wasn't underwhelming, it was just meh. The whole thing was just kind of meh. And I'm gonna go ahead and talk about the dynamics of the couples and how I feel like they've changed here, what they've revealed here in part 1. So starting with Ryan and Clara, it's the exact same thing. Like it's all a mystery. We don't know if they've consummated. Clara's still sticking to the script. Ryan's still being tight-lipped. I'm just gonna read vibes. So as far as vibes go between the couple, between Clara and Ryan, I feel like it looks like things are getting, they're growing in love. They're growing together, which is, what I like to see. I like to see that, they seem to be enjoying each other. And Kevin actually got Ryan to tell Clara that he loves her, which I'm like, a wedding or a vow renewal, but you didn't tell her you loved her. I thought that was cool, but the thing is, Ryan, like, why are you, I don't know, it was like weird, random, and unexpected. Just him saying it like that really quickly. I wasn't sure exactly what to think of it, other than, like, apparently he's just the type who needs a little bit of pressure to be pushed out of his comfort zone, and it seems like he already feels the love. And as Clara has stated before, and as I've stated in my previous videos, I wanted her to let Ryan show her the love. I wanted her to let him show her the love, show her the connection, display to her, because that's what guys are great at doing. They're good at showing you how they feel through their actions. And Claire said that she recognized that. She recognized that he's done so many things to show that he's loved her. So that's great. I'm happy about that, but there is some kind of it's not like I'm not really getting that they're hiding something. It's just, I guess it is hiding. It's like they're being very tight-lipped about things. It's like, hey, if you consummated, you consummated. If you did this, you did that. Like, what's the big deal? Like, of course we're asking, because this is Married at First Sight. We want to know that you, like, the things that we were so focused on in the show, we want to know that you're thriving in those areas. That's all. So that's all I want to say. I'm happy for them. We'll see what happens in part 2. I'm really starting to see Clara is very good. She's shown this before. She's very good at kind of relaying the right message, kind of like Ryan too. I guess we always thought Claire was more of like emotional, woo, everywhere. And I have a feeling she probably watched herself back thinking like, oh, maybe I should learn how to be a little bit more quiet. And it seems like she's heeding Ryan's advice in terms of like keeping things to themselves and, doing this and doing that. So in a way, both of them can profit, both of them can benefit from being with opposites. In a way, like, Clara is the emotional side, Ryan is the logical side. You need both of those to just be a balanced human being in general. I'm happy for them. I'm all about positive energy on my channel, and I like to focus on the good vibes, the good energy that people are putting out, unless it's Chris and Paige. Okay, so moving on to Virginia and Eric. So I would say for this couple, and also for the entire episode, best behavior. Everyone was on their best behavior. Eric was on his best behavior. Virginia was on her best behavior. Eric was most definitely on his best behavior. So reading energy, I feel like Eric definitely came off a lot more relaxed, a lot more in tune with the fact that, or self-aware of like what he was, or how he was portraying himself and putting things out there. And I'm happy about that. Sometimes Virginia just has a look in her eyes though, where I'm just kind of like, where she just seems a little like, I'm kind of unsure about this guy. Like, she has that look in her face sometimes. So they look happy. And I mean, it was weird that they brought Eric's mom on there, but she had such good things to say about who Virginia is, and appreciating who Virginia is, and then also appreciating how Virginia has helped to transform Eric as a man. So I think Eric is definitely one of those people. Maybe there's a little bit of codependency there, but he's one of those people, he does well in a relationship. Like, he does well in knowing himself, working on himself in relationships, and he's willing to do that. So look, I'm happy if someone is willing to be in the relationship, willing to do the work, willing to be self-aware. I'm happy. But both of them, both Virginia and Eric, were on their best behavior. So are we getting all the ins and outs of what's going on? Honestly, I didn't get anything this entire episode from anyone other than Chris and Paige. So from what I can see and all the good things that they've said about each other, they're doing better. And energetically, what I'm reading, physical body-wise, they seem a lot more relaxed, a lot more in that blissful state in their marriage. So I'm happy for them. Virginia, again, said something about drinking not being an issue. Okay, girl. I don't know. Look, if Eric says it's not an issue, or it has not been an issue, Virginia says it has not been an issue, then maybe it's not an issue. Because for it to really be an issue, it has to be acknowledged by both parties. So if neither of them are saying it's an issue, then it really is not an issue. Hopefully that is the case, and I wish the best for them. Moving on to Vincent and Brie. So what I loved is Vincent did, okay, first of all, Kevin really put him on the spot. Like, were you listening to those questions? Now, I don't have any of them written down or any notes about it, but Kevin was really kind of, aren't you glad you have an engineer as a wife? Isn't your wife intelligent? Like, Kevin was like, you better like, like get with the program. This woman is valuable. He's like, isn't she incredible? So obviously Kevin is a fan of Brie, and I'm a fan of Brie. And Vincent being overreactive or over emotional about things has, you know, not been a good look for him. So I'm glad he admitted it and was very forthright about the fact that he was self-conscious about the show and and that's what a lot of people were gearing or moving towards. But I feel like it's a combination. Like, it's, yes, you're on television, yes, people are watching you, but ultimately how you react in front of the camera, like, it amplifies. So you're actually just amplifying who you are. And so if you're being sensitive or, you know, being insecure, deal with it and be grateful for when things are augmented under a microscope, because that's the opportunity for you to really see what are your problems, because it's going to be magnified on TV because they're going to highlight those things. They want the drama. So I would say take that as an opportunity to be like, okay, this is what I need to work on. This is what I need to work on. Let's go to therapy. But Vincent does have the self-awareness. The two of them look really happy together. And I love how Brie said, you know, maybe she has to leave the dishes, or like maybe things aren't always going to be the way that she wants them to be. And I was also a little surprised, not really surprised, but just kind of a little, oh, okay, about the fact that she moved into his place and she said, you know, I'm not used to sharing a smaller space. But I can see that she genuinely respects and cares about Vincent and cares about the relationship and is willing to set aside her ego. Because women, we have egos too. We talk about men and their egos. Women, we have egos too. We have to set that aside for us to coexist together. And we as women have to set aside our egos to coexist with our partners. And I feel like Brie and Vincent have that. They're willing to do the work to coexist together. Here's one thing I want to say about being self-conscious. I was actually I still am, a very self-conscious person. But the beauty of being self-conscious is that we tend to know, we know our flaws. Like, we know what things we need to work on, and we're our hardest critic. The beautiful thing is because I'm my hardest critic and I'm very self-conscious, I'm self-aware and I'm willing to do the work, I've grown so much in life. There are a lot of people who are self-conscious, but they don't want to do anything about it. So Vincent has, you know, self-consciousness is great. It's actually an advantage if you want to learn how to be a better person. They seem to be in agreement about kids, the house, and all of that stuff. So I'm happy about that. I'm really happy about, and I'm also happy that Vincent got a reality check with taking care of his relatives, his niece or nephew, something like that. So yeah, taking care of kids is expensive and time consuming, and it's a lot more work than in Fantasyland. And I think Vincent is definitely a dreamer, but Brie is very grounding. She's very much, I would say she's logical, she's very intelligent. So I think she's gonna help him with that. But yes, ladies, like, be messy. Like, it's okay. Dishes aren't, like, things are not always gonna be perfect. You're gonna have to get used to that. Just go with the flow. I find that when people just go with the flow with their household, they tend to be so much more happier and satisfied in their relationships. So I would definitely encourage people to stick to that as much as possible. Just allow things to flow. Maybe today we're being a little bit more clean. Maybe tomorrow we're being a little bit more messy. You know, life is unpredictable. It's fun. Even the small things, the simple things are so, like, precious. Like, cherish that. Cherish, there's a few dishes in the sink. Let's laugh at that. And then wash them. Okay, so moving on to Chris and Paige. Is that my last couple? Oh no, Jacob and Haley. Let's do Jacob and Haley. Actually, let's do Jacob and Haley first. Yeah. It's pretty much the same story. They don't like each other. Jacob blocked Haley. So Jacob blocking Haley is obviously evidence. Yes, okay, they're not together. He's not in agreement about her side of the story or how she's told things or how she's approached him. But Jacob is being petty once again. And pettiness just, it goes to show your lack of maturity, and it goes to show that there's some kind of, like, forgiveness or healing that you need to work on. To block, like, Haley, I mean, they never really had an opportunity to form a relationship, so I feel like Jacob obviously is really holding on to resentment there, not just in this experience, but just in general, perhaps in relationships. So I'm looking forward to, I would like to see Jacob get some, like, a light bulb go off, because I think Haley is willing to figure it out. And part of that might be due to her age. You know, she's younger. She's like, okay, you know, I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm willing to learn. I'm not perfect. Jacob being so rigid about not forgiving Haley or being angry or frustrated with Haley, to me is a bit concerning, because that energy is what is going to stop him from being able to get in relationships in the future. Hopefully he can figure things out, or he'll, again, I've said it time and time again, like, he needs to go to a relationship coach, someone who could help him learn how to be more romantic, learn how to be more vulnerable, and maybe also work on that healing and that confidence as well. Moving on to Chris and Paige. So Pastor Dwight showed up, and that was a mess. Chris had perfectly presentable answers, as Kevin noted. Paige, she kept saying it over and over again. It breaks my spirit. It breaks my spirit. Paige came off a little bit broken-spirited in this episode. She was kind of slumped over. She looked a little defeated. Having to rewatch those scenes where Chris was saying certain things about her and talking about her appearance and whatnot, it just wasn't, I don't know, I could just feel that she wasn't feeling very good about the whole experience. But from what I've seen in this reunion, it just seems like she still has yet to really do that healing. So I'm really interested to see if she is going to move forward with that, if she's going to, yeah, she seems like she's getting along with the girls, but there seems to be a pile of unresolved energy, because she still seems very upset about how Chris has treated her, approached her about things and whatnot, and Chris's his attitude, I mean, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. I'll say it again. Needs a lot of therapy, self-help books, years of retreats to really do that inner work, inner diving, and work on himself and work through those. It's just layered, and it's so heavy. I think that's all I wanted to say about the couples. I think they were all, we'll see what happens in part 2. It was kind of underwhelming. I really just want to see people be, like, vulnerable, like, really just open up, and, like, I just want to see that people are being self-aware of the things that they really need to work on, and not pretending that everything is okay. It just seems like there's a little bit of that happening on the surface all throughout. Everyone's on their best behavior. So we'll go ahead and see what happens in part 2. Thank you guys for watching my review. I hope you guys have a great day or evening. If you are interested in more content from me, go ahead, like, subscribe, or hit the bell notification. Also, I will be making more videos, obviously about Married at First Sight. It's one of my favorite shows, and creative content as well. I'm an artist, so I actually want to do an interesting hybrid mix of artistic tutorial and self-help, like just helping people like work through things, talk about things, and relaying it back to my experiences as well. I hope you guys have a wonderful day or evening. Bye.